Please be seated. Well, two themes today in our readings from the book of Genesis and Colossians, and certainly from the Gospel, but mainly from the Psalm and the Gospel. Psalm 15, as we read just this minute ago, says, "There is no guile upon his tongue. He does no evil to his friend. He does not heap contempt upon his neighbor." These are timely words for us in this nation and for our leadership. The alternate psalm for today was Psalm 52, which is more pointed. It says, "You tyrant, why do you boast of wickedness against the godly all day long? You plot ruin. Your tongue is like a sharpened razor, a worker of deception." And then from the Gospel, Jesus talks with Martha and Mary, not about the way of evil, but about the way of love. So I begin with an apology. I am sorry, and I'm ashamed. I lived in Greenville, North Carolina, not South Carolina, North Carolina, for 21 years. I was born and reared in a town near Greenville, about 40 miles away. So these are my people. These are my people. And I watched in horror the rally that our president held in Greenville, North Carolina last week. And I recognized some of the people who were there and saw them chanting, "Send her back, send her back." I am so ashamed. I find it hard to stand before you today, and I must apologize. Not everybody in eastern North Carolina is that way, but there are enough that it's shameful. Now, Mr. Trump later disclaimed any racist remarks to that effect. "I didn't start the chant, not me. In fact, I stopped it." Baloney. He encouraged it. He set the climate for it to happen. He let it happen, and when he got tired of it, he stopped it. He ran and hid in the shadows after the event was over. He hid. Evil always hides in the shadows. Evil lurks in the shadows because evil has something to hide. Evil has something that can't stand the light of day, much less the light of the gospel. Evil lurks in the shadows of life and does its work in the dim recesses around the edges until it feels confident enough to come out into the daylight and do its really evil work. So it is today when our leader, our political leader, who occupies the highest office in this land, disgraces the office and our nation by encouraging racism and sexism and inviting evil to rear its ugly head toward the people and the groups, or with the consent and encouragement of the people and the groups who lurk in the shadows. Finally, they have permission to come forth and spread their ugly wings and share their infection to tear down this nation and what has been accomplished. Evil always lurks in the shadows. It just takes a little encouragement, and our president knows that, just a little encouragement to let it come out, and then to step away and say, oh, I didn't say that. Oh, no. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. And again, I apologize to you for my people. But love is different. Love doesn't lurk in the shadows. Love seeks the sunshine. Love takes its actions in the light of day. Love builds up. Love creates. Love builds up and evil tears down. Love creates, hatred destroys. Love gives freely, evil hoards and denies. Love feeds neighbor and stranger. Hatred starves by denying food and denying shelter. Love brings freedom. Evil creates detention camps, proclaims a crisis where there is no crisis, separates families and sends children off to places that have no beds apart from their families. Love welcomes the stranger. Hatred persecutes the stranger. So what does love or loving deeds look like? We know what hatred and evil looks like. That's the question that Jesus asked of Mary and Martha today. Sometimes love takes action. And sometimes the most loving thing is to be still. So the gospel question of today, since we are here to celebrate the light that shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it, as John says in his gospel, what is the most loving thing you can do? What is the most loving thing you can do today? And let's start with the person sitting next to you, because love cares for those who are nearby and those who are far away. An embrace, perhaps, a handshake, a smile, a kind word, an action that shows care and love, a reconciliation with someone you have differences with. What is the most loving thing you can do for those who are farther away, for refugees, for children in detention, for those who seek asylum in this nation, for the homeless in this city, and the lonely in this vast city, and the hungry? Maybe the most loving thing you can do is support the baby pack, the school backpack project that's being done in Cathedral House as we speak. Backpacks are being filled with materials for school to be given to children. Maybe you want to go over there and help pack a backpack. Perhaps a contribution to a feeding program, or perhaps volunteering for a feeding program. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of ways to express love. Evil only has one way to express its dirty work. The good news of Jesus is that while hatred entices us into the shadows of human hatred and separation, love invites us into the sunshine of service to others and the bright daylight of finding and celebrating the one who gave everything to be present here with you and with me and with the city, this people of this city and the whole world. And he paid the price at the hands of the evil It was done by the political and religious leaders of his day, all in order that we might gather around this table, bask in his love, receive his life into ours, and be empowered to go forth and spread not the hatred that our president preaches, but the love that Jesus has proclaimed for 2,000 years and that will never die away. Amen.